Hello, we're going to see how to use elevation models to simulate flooding. And I have one that I've made over here. This is around Sturdivant. So you can see that the water layer I have over here is simulating a flood. So once this gets done running, we'll go ahead and learn how to do this and get started. The first thing that we're going to do is download the map that we're going to start working with. So I'm coming over here to material I've posted up for demographic elevation models all the way down to the bottom and looking at National Map Download Tool. And I'm clicking on that, and momentarily it's going to bring up the national map. Going to look at elevation products and click that. Going to select all the subcategories, and I'm going to be looking at 2320 Renaissance Boulevard in Sturdivant, the IMET Center. So I'm going to now look at finding the products. And over here I have the USGS elevation model over here that I'm going to select. I'm going to go ahead and download this one. So it's going to take a while. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to start up my ARC map. So I'm coming over here to ArcGIS and starting up ARC map. While this is still downloading. So it's going to take a little bit. So it's just also going to take a bit to download, but we're going to have to make a water layer underneath. But we're going to look at this as having a brand new map. And let's see how I'm doing in downloading. And it appears that I've got that done. So let's look at here at my downloads. And here is what I just downloaded. So now I have all this material, and I'm going to click on the first item, hold down the shift, and get the remainder of them, select them all. I'm going to extract them, but I'm going to create a new folder to put them in. So I'm going to come over here, click on this item, make a new folder under my downloads. I'm going to call this Flood. So that's okay right there. I'm going to click OK. It is now going to copy all those zipped files over to download and called Flood. So now it's opening all those up. And I can get rid of this. And what I have now, if I come over here to my downloads and should have a new folder called Flood right over here with all my information. But now I'm going to go over to my ARC map and start to get the elevation model and then also begin to make the water layer for showing the flood. So I'm coming over here to add my data. And this one is I had done previously, but I'm going to come over here to my downloads. I have all my information now in flood. So what I'm going to now pick up is the model that I'm going to use. I'm going to add this one as my JPEG file. I click on that and add it, and it says I don't have any spatial coordinate reference system over here, so I will take care of that in a little bit. So here's what I have. Over here on the side, it now has where I have catalog that's opened up as a standard feature. So we'll be using that in order to provide data for this one over here. If you, whoops, wrong one, I gotta get out of that. Come down here over to properties and look in general. I'm gonna look at my source, and it says I have an undefined spatial reference. We're going to go ahead and take care of that. We'll look at catalog over here and begin to get the coordinate system fixed for this particular map. So I'm going to come over here to my downloads. I have, in this case, where I put it is in my under downloads and flood. And I have this one over here as the JPEG file. If I do a right click on it, I can find out all the information I need to know about this. And here are my properties. When I clicked on that, as I can scroll down. And here I have my XY coordinate system. It says it's unknown, but I'm going to click on edit. And here I have two selections. I'm going to click on my geographic coordinate systems and come down to North America. And the common one that we use is North America datum 1983. So I'm going to click on that and say OK, apply it there, and click OK. So now, hopefully what it's done is I should now have, under my properties, it now has a coordinate system. So I'm fine with that. What I'm going to come over here and do now is make a new feature for the water layer. So I'm coming over here to my catalog again, clicking on it, and here I'm going to click flood, new, and here I want to make a new shape file. I'm going to name it water. It's going to be a polygon shape. Here it says unknown coordinate system, but I'm going to come over here to edit and give it the same coordinate system. So I'm coming down here to North America, NAD 1983, and click OK, and click OK here. And now I have my water layer. If I turn this one off, you see I haven't got anything showing up because I actually have to define it in ArcMap, and we'll do that in just a second. Now what I have over here on my right hand side is a create features tab, but then also as I have opened up, I have an editor over here, and when I begin it is I can make this tab come open. To get my editor feature over here, I come down on customize toolbars and I have my editor. So I've gotten rid of it. I come over here to customize toolbars and click my editor again. So now I have water selected. I'm going to come over here to editor and start editing. And it says no spatial references. It doesn't match up. So I'm going to continue because I'm going to come over here to my create features. I could also have come over here and this is customized, but this one also has a create features over here I could click on to get this to open. I now have my water selected. I can make a polygon, which I'm doing now. Coming over here, I'm going to give it the same dimensions as the elevation model that I had. And when I've done that, I'm going to double click here. It's finished. I come over here to my editor. I'm going to save my edits. And now I'm going to also stop editing. Now I have a water layer. And when I turn this one off, it stays around. I'm going to double click here. I'll click over here. And now I have a bunch of colors that I can select. After I clicked on it, I'm going to make this the blue like in lake. Now I've changed the color. So now I have two layers over here. And I'm ready to begin working in Arc Scene. In Arc Scene, I can actually pick this up over here. Up on top, it has those two items available. So I'm going to launch Arc Scene. And that will open up in a second. So I'm going to click on Get a Blank Scene. And I'm getting rid of the animation because I'll show you how to use that in a second. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my data. And here's the water shape file that I made. Here's the JPEG file that I used in ArcMap. I'm going to add this one first. And there's my layer with the elevation data for the area around Sturtevant and the lake over here and Racine. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add more data. I'm going to add my water shape file. And these two are now one on top of the other. What I'm going to do is come over to my shape file, the elevation model, come down here to properties, and I'm going to have this floating on a custom surface, which is going to be that layer over here. I'm going to now make this 1.5. And if I apply that and click OK, I now have made my model. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see it. But it's rather hard to see features in just black and white. So I'm going to come over here, do a right click again, come over here to properties, and I'm going to come over here to symbology. Here I have my color ramp. I'm going to make this one a little bit easier to see things. I'm going to apply this one and click OK. And that's fairly exaggerated, so I'm going to actually come back here, go to properties again, come to my base heights, and instead of 1.5, I'm going to make it 1.2. I'm going to apply that and say OK. It's now reduced the amount of distortion that was there. You can pick a value that you want. So now I have my water layer down here. I've got my elevation model. Now all I have to do is begin to animate it. So I'm going to come over here. And if I do a right click in this blank space, I get this menu to open up. I'm going to click on animation. So now I have this little animation toolbox open again. I click on animation and my animation manager. So what I want to do is I want to create several points that I'm going to have this water layer rise up. So I'm going to create that. It's going to be a layer. It's going to be taking that layer water and moving it on up. So I'm going to click, I want a new one. And when I do that, it creates it. Now I've got keyframe 1. I'm going to create 5. So I've got layer 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to close it. Now what I want to do is I want to translate or move the water layer up in the Z direction, which is up and down, as opposed to X and Y, which are lengthwise and distance and width on the model over here. So I'm going to come over here in this one. I have my model as having a low elevation of 78 and a high of 126, but it's multiplied by that factor of 1.2. So this is actually going to be somewhere right around 100. So I'm going to start out as 75, hit enter, 100, and enter, 125, and enter. My last one is going to be 150, and hit enter. So now I've got 4 points over here, so it's going to take my water layer and bump it up. So now I've got that done. And what I'm going to come over here and do is I'm going to click on my animation and my manager again. I'm looking for my options. And let's see where those are at. Here we go. Now I have my options I'm going to pick. I'm going to make my entire video, the scene, last 15 seconds. And these are the other boxes you want to click or make sure they're open, is play in all viewers and restore state after playing. I could play it once in reverse, once forward. I could loop it around, but I'm just going to play it forward once. So if I click out of here, now I have my animation controls. And what I should be able to do is do this. And if I click my animation, if I've done everything right, it should proceed to move that water layer up. And now it's going to look like it's flooding as it moves up on the preset stops that I had along the way, and it just barely comes over top of it. And if I look at my options again, I could come over here and loop forward and reverse. So I'm going to click my options to resize the menu here. Click on animations. There goes flooding. And now if I come over here, I can look at it. It looks like it's flooding it. And it should also go down back again in reverse where it's draining off the landscape. So one of the advantages of having an elevation model is that you can see where streams and rivers flow to, flooding and that. This is what I've done with this modeling over here. So this is a illustration of what you're going to do for your homework. So I'm going to actually stop this, and that should give you the ability to make your model. Now I picked the area right around Sturtevant. You can pick another map that you want wherever you like. You don't have to particularly pick on Sturtevant and Renaissance Boulevard. You could pick out in Hawaii. You could pick Pikes Peak and other places. Look around and see how it looks when it would be flooding. So that concludes the video.